Hello YouTube, I've got a cool product to share with you all today, and it's from a company called Wavlink. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Wavlink, not Wavlink. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But this is the Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 docking station, the UTD-58, and it was kindly sent out to me by the company for review. And if I switch over to my webcam, you'll see that I've got my Apple Mac Studio, a USB 4 V2 hub underneath, a USB 4 V2 enclosure, and that is running through the Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 docking station. And this is actually a big upgrade for me because this is my first Thunderbolt 5 docking station. So what I'd like to do in this video is tell you more about what this docking station can do. The Apple Mac Studio I own is the base model from 2025. It boasts an M4 Max chip, 512 gigabytes of storage and 36 gigabytes of memory. My Mac Studio does have a healthy number of ports, but I need many more ports as I connect many cameras and devices through it. My main expansions so far are an Acasis SSD enclosure to expand storage, and an 80 gigabits per second USB dock, which sits underneath my Mac Studio. That RayQ hub that sits underneath has 2 SSD slots and additional ports for displays. It's a fantastic solution that works well with my Mac Studio, but that hub is USB 4 version 2, not Thunderbolt 5. As I explained in a video earlier this year, USB 4 V2 meets some of the requirements for Thunderbolt 5, but not all of them, which is why USB 4 V2 products are not verified by Intel. So this Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 docking station is not just going to expand the functionality of my Mac Studio further by adding more ports. It also means I'm taking advantage of all available Thunderbolt 5 bandwidth that my Mac Studio offers and navigating around the limitations the Mac Studio has with powering multiple bus-powered SSD enclosures. For reference, the product that was sent out to me for review is the Wavlink UTD-58. A variation of the dock is available called the UTD-59 that doesn't have the vents built into the casing, whilst the UTD-58-M and UTD-59-M feature an integrated M2 SSD slot. The official name of the UTD-58 is the Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 Multifunctional Docking Station. It supports output up to 2 8K monitors at 60Hz or 3 4K monitors at 144Hz. It can deliver up to 120 gigabits per second bandwidth video transfer, and 140 watts of power is available to charge laptops. In the box you will find the Thunderbolt 5 docking station, a card that advises where you can download drivers, safety information, and a quick start guide that shows you how to get set up. The accessories box underneath contains a 1 meter long Thunderbolt 5 cable, a cable holder, and a Phillips screwdriver. The total length of the power supply and power adapter is over 2 meters, with the UK power supply I received boasting a max output of 230 watts. I was impressed by how the Thunderbolt 5 dock looks. It has a premium feel due to its weight, weighing in at 777 grams or 1 pound 11.4 ounces. Its aluminium chassis helps dissipate heat, but there is also a built-in fan to ensure the motherboard and chips inside remain cool. The front port selection includes a 3.5mm audio combo jack, a dual SD and micro SD UHS-II card reader that offers transfer speeds up to 312 megabytes per second, and 2 10 gigabits per second Type A ports. To the right hand side is a Thunderbolt 5 host port that supports power delivery 3.1 and 140 watts of charging power. Next is a Thunderbolt 5 downstream port that offers 30 watts of charging power, and finally we have the power button. On the other side of the dock there is a Kensington lock port, 2 Thunderbolt 5 downstream ports that support 15 watts of charging power, and an additional 2 10 gigabits per second Type A ports. Rounding off the port selection, we have a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port and a 20 volt DC in power port. The overall port selection is fantastic, in my opinion. But one thing to remember is that the Thunderbolt 5 host port is at the front of the dock. This can be a good position for connecting laptops, but if I'm connecting to my Mac Studio, I'd much prefer this port to be positioned at the back of the dock so that the connecting cable doesn't have to flip over the dock to my computer. I'm happy to say that all of my performance tests for this dock have been positive, as the dock has handled everything that I threw at it. My Acasis SSD enclosure is showing 6.75 GB per second reading and 4.29 GB per second writing in speed tests, whilst the Sony Tough SD card that I use with my Sony camera delivered 268.1 megabytes per second reading and 150.84 megabytes per second for writing. The 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port performed well too, delivering a connection speed of 2.35 gigabits per second to my Synology NAS. I also tested the dock's transfer speeds using my Acasis 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter, which delivered an impressive 9.42 gigabits per second. That's the exact same transfer speed that I see through the 10 gigabit Ethernet port on my Mac Studio. The dock also works great with the portable monitor that I use in my main setup, providing data and power with just one cable. One other thing to note is that the dock will automatically power on and off alongside your computer, though when it is in standby mode, it draws around 3.5 watts from the wall. So in this final section, I'd like to summarise everything that I've spoke about in this video and give you my overall opinion of the Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 docking station, the UTD-58. And this is it here. It's connected to my Apple Mac Studio. It's still on, still connected. And from a design perspective, I think this looks good. Not everyone is going to like these kind of vents at the top, but if you don't like them, you can get the UTD-59, which looks identical but is clear here. And I don't think these are actually vents per se. I think it's more cosmetic. But this is dissipating heat because it's kind of warm to touch. Lukewarm, I would say. Now, I have been trying to overheat this. At the moment, it's quite cool actually. I've never seen it get too hot, but I have been trying to overheat it so that the built-in fan would trigger. But so far, I've not been able to do that. So it's been operating silently, not a peep out of it. But yeah, design-wise, I think this looks good. And more importantly, I think the port selection here is excellent. We've got two Type A ports, 10 gigabits per second at the front and another two at the back. In addition to the Thunderbolt 5 host ports, we've got another 3 Thunderbolt 5 connections there as well. So just from an expansion point of view, this is super flexible because you can connect other Thunderbolt 5 hubs and devices easily. We've obviously got the audio jack at the front. We've got the SD card, micro SD card slot, both UHS-II, and we have Ethernet 2.5 gig or gigabit. And the performance from that was quite good. Now, I'm sure some of you out there would prefer 5 gigabit Ethernet or 10 gigabit Ethernet. I think 5 would have been a good choice, and I believe there is a variation that does include a 5 gigabit Ethernet port. 10 gigabit Ethernet, you don't see as many hubs with that port, but it is something I would like to see. It probably would push the price up as well. And as I showed in the video earlier, you can use adapters to get 10 gigabit Ethernet just by using a Thunderbolt Ethernet adapter, 10 gigabit Ethernet adapter. So you do have options because there's so many ports for expansion. Now, as far as connections and that go, as I'm sure you're aware, but it is worth pointing out, yes, you can connect triple displays and all that, or two high performance displays to 8K displays, but bear in mind there are limitations in the world of Apple. It will depend on which chipset, which CPU that you're using, so you will be a little bit limited as to how you use this to expand. That's just something you have to be aware of. Now, a few other things to mention. One is the screwdriver and this little cable holder here. Now, I mentioned it earlier during the unboxing, but just to show you, that should go in there. And the idea is that this goes in there and it holds the cable in place. And the idea is that this will prevent someone from accidentally removing the main connection cable. Now, I've not been using it. I don't think it's going to be an issue for me, but it's quite cool that they include it in the box. Now, I do want to talk about something which I hate, absolutely hate. It's the power button. So this Thunderbolt dock, if it's connected to your computer, it will go off and switch back on when your computer goes off and on. So if you switch off your laptop or your computer, this will go to orange, it will go to standby, and then when you switch it back on, it will automatically switch on. The issue that I have here is that the power button is way too easy to press. Way too easy to press, to the point where whenever I've moved this, I've accidentally pressed it, which on my computer disconnects this SSD enclosure, which messes up my syncing of drives and different things. That is way too easy to do. It should be a long press in to switch it on and off, or it should be a switch. It shouldn't be that you just pick it up and then you accidentally press it. It's way too easy to do, and it's something that I've done more times than I would have liked. I mean, it's probably a dozen or so times I've tried to pick this up or move this, and I've accidentally pressed that. It's just way too easy to hit that power button. So in a future version of this product, I really do hope they change that and, you know, make the power button a little bit different. Now, one thing I haven't spoke about yet is price. And generally speaking, if you go onto their website, you'll see that it retails at $299.99. And it's the same in the UK, £299.99 at this time. But they have provided me with some discount codes, which I'll post in the description area. But I believe they're also going to drop the price during Amazon Prime sales as well, just like all tech products. So I'll leave some information about that down below. But I will say, generally speaking, my experience with this over the last few weeks has been fantastic. This is solid. I've been trying to, break it some way or trying to hit bottlenecks, but so far this has handled everything that I've threw at it. Now, obviously, you're always limited by bandwidth, that 88 gigabits per second bi-directional with Thunderbolt 5. So if you're plugging in displays, multiple SSDs, Ethernet as well, you will hit a bottleneck at one point. But generally speaking with me, I'm not using everything at once, so it's never going to be an issue with me. And for me, Thunderbolt 5 is an excellent upgrade because the Apple Mac Studio that I have has major issues with powering SSDs such as this. It's got major issues with it. It just doesn't give enough USB bus power, which leads to disconnections, etc. I've not had any issues like that since I've started using this dock. So yeah, I think the price is quite good. I think most Thunderbolt 5 docks are in that 300 to 450, 500 price range. So this is kind of in that Thunderbolt 5 dock price range. Yeah, I think especially with all the ports that you get with it, I think it's a good price for what you get. With docks in general though, and I've said this many times in the past, it really comes down to the docks ports. It comes down to the ports that are on offer here and whether these ports help expand your computer. We're all looking for different functionality. We're all looking to expand our computer in different ways. Some of you might be looking for example, an HDMI port or a display port or something like that. Here, if you're connecting to monitors, you will have to use a Thunderbolt cable. You can pick up a Thunderbolt to HDMI cable easily, but it is something to bear in mind. We've got a great selection of Type A ports, great selection of Thunderbolt ports, and we've got the SD card, etc. But port selection for me, whenever you're looking at a dock or a hub, whatever you want to call it, port selection is vital. So have a look at the website, have a look at the Amazon listings and see if this Thunderbolt dock does what you want it to do. But I hope you've found the video useful. As always, do your research, check out the official website, check out other reviews from YouTubers so that you've got a more comprehensive overview of what this can do and what it cannot do. But my own experience of this Thunderbolt dock so far, it's been excellent. It's been robust, no issues at all, and I've been delighted with it. So Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you've got any questions, please do post a comment down below. And if you found the video useful, if you've enjoyed it, please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, take care.